I believe that I was born with a song inside of me. Never question why. I just keep on singing these melodies as time goes by. It's funny how time can make you realize we're running out of years on the day that I die. I wanna say that I was a man who really lived and never compromised. While I live out my days until the very end, you can find me in my home, a guitar in my hand. You can find me in my home, a guitar in my hand. Oh, 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 oh. You can find me in my home, a guitar in my hands. I hope they find me in my home with my guitar in my hand. Oh, 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 oh.
And she's right here. Hey! Got your card today.
Yay!
Yay, are you excited?
Yeah.
Are you nervous?
Yep, like a big crowd here.
I know, isn't it great up here though? Yeah, you don't get up here all the time. It's like you might as well stand here for a minute like, wow, right? It's pretty cool. It's cool. It's cool. Do you know how to use the mic? Because you got to hang it close.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Here's the quote. Come up here to the edge so we can all
When you have come to the edge of all light, you have stepped in. Oh, wait. Let me start again.
deep breath. All right.
When you have come to the edge of all the light you have and step into the darkness of the unknown, believe that one of two things will happen. Either you will find something solid to stand on, or you will be taught how to fly.
I like that. I like that. Richard Bach. Yeah. Yeah. Either you find something solid to stand on, or you learn how to fly. I like those two choices. We don't always do that, do we? We don't always think we have that those are the two choices. I don't think so. Because we have something called doubt. Right? We have something called doubt. That's not part of my message. I don't want to start there. So let me just, because we might be here a long time, and that's not really what I want to do today. So for the last few weeks, I've been taking my Sunday messages with inspiration from these two books. One is called How Can I Help by Ram Dass and Paul Gorman, and the other one is called The Great Work of Your Life by Stephen Cope. This is one of my favorite books of all time. I'm soon going to need another copy because there's too much underlined and highlighted, and so I'll need to start over. But these two books have been very influential in what I've been talking about, and the thread that runs through them is this idea that every life is essential. Like there's not a better life or worse or a more important life and a less important life. Like both of these books talk about the necessary consciousness or the wise consciousness that says, no, we're all as important as anybody else, and what we're here to do, what our duty is, what our dharma is, what our calling is essential to the whole. And even in the How I Can Help book, there's a chapter about feeling as if you are the helper puts the person who is being helped as if they're lesser somehow. Like, I'm here to help. That kind of a thing. Rather than, I'm here for us. I'm here for us because we're the same. Like, we're not separate from each other. Both these books talk about that thread. And last week I shared too, I watched the last night of the Democratic National Convention, and Senator Mark Kelly from Arizona started his comments off talking about the team, saying that whether he was flying into outer space because he's an astronaut, or whether he was flying on a U.S. naval mission in wartime, he said, I didn't do that by myself. There was a whole team of people that allowed me to do that. And I'm like, yes, that's what this idea sometimes of oneness that we talk about. We're like, oneness, what's that really about? This is the kind of thing that I'm asking us to think about. Like, we don't do anything by ourselves. But it certainly seems that way, doesn't it? Because we have this. We have this body, and it looks like we're all separate. We're going to go home in separate cars. We're going to eat. We're going to, and it looks like that. And we order our lives that way. We want to get a degree, or go to college, or get a job in trade, or be a musician, or whatever it is. We want to build a family. We want to get security. We want to make sure we have enough for retirement. There's all this effort and all this focus on me, 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 me. And you know what? There is some sense to that, by the way, because we are here to live our particular calling, our particular duty, our particular thing. What did Jared just say in his notes? Did I leave my notebook over there, Jared? Yes. Oh, there it is. I wrote down some of those lyrics so I wouldn't forget about them. And Jared's song lyrics says, "I believe I was born with a song inside of me." That kind of thing. Like, we are here for the duty to the whole. I want to be a man who really lived and never compromised. I want to be a person who lived and never compromised my dharma, my calling. I found peace on this path. I found peace on this path that I took. Yeah, that thing. So it is about that, but the key point of it all is that all of that duty and dharma and what we're here for is in service to the whole. Because we're not disconnected. We're not as individual as we think we are. We are all connected. We are all is making this tapestry, this fabric that we're here to do. We're not separate. And so to perform our dharma and to perform our duty and what we're called to do with the consciousness that I'm in service to others, that I'm in service to myself, sticking with it, and in service to others by what I do. That's it. That's it. Not about getting an award, not being at a Grammy or a Tony or an Emmy, or being the president or the in charge person, or the wanting fame and wanting an award and wanting a gold star and wanting recognition. Like, that's irrelevant. What is relevant is to feel the peace that I want to feel performing the duty and dharma that I'm here for. And it's not how it looks, it's how it serves the whole. It's not how it looks, it's how it serves the whole. And how would you know? Like, how will you know it's your dharma? How would you know that? Well, last week Thoreau gave us the answer to that, and he said he was a transcendentalist, lived in the late 19th century, and he said, we have to learn to rely on insight versus logic. Remember when I shared that last week? That's how you know if it's your dharma. You rely on insight. You rely on how it feels from the inside, not on what you figure it to be. We do a lot of I've done a lot of figuring in my life. What if I relied on my insight? And you will know what it is by the way you feel. Some of this is repetition from the last weeks that I've done this, but I hope you can feel this. I want to give you an example. I just finished reading this book from the library. It's called What It Takes to Save a Life, A Veterinarian's Quest for Healing and Hope by Dr. Kwanye Stewart. All right, let me read to you the inside cover, what this book is about. Only 2 years into his job as a lead veterinarian at the Stanislaus County Animal Shelter, Dr. Stewart was on the verge of a breakdown. More animals were dropped off than he could care for, and because the shelter never turned any animal away, it was the last stop for every unwanted pet in Northern California. One day, on the edge of despair, Stewart offered his veterinary services pro bono to a man outside a convenience store whom he had seen day after day. His dog was covered in bumps and having a serious allergy to fleas. With this one act of spontaneous generosity, I say dharma, Stewart confronted the truth. He says this, quote, "There was a tiny life before me. And no, I couldn't save them all, but maybe I could save this one." Armed with this new perspective, Stewart resolved to save his own life too. In this exquisitely detailed, expansive memoir, it chronicles his transformation from a childhood of being bullied and finding solace with creatures and outcasts, to wide-eyed, debt-saddled young veterinarian leaving the halls of academia determined to make his place in the world, to a man and a father wrestling with questions at the very center of human and animal experience. Here's the question: how do we care for the unseen among us, and what does it truly take to save a life? What does it truly take to save a life? Now, I'm talking about your life, for you. What does it take you to save your life? He saved his life. The story in here details his sitting at the ocean at the oceanside town against a brick wall, looking out to the ocean, debating whether he should walk in and be gone. I mean, this saved his life. This encounter with this homeless person and their animal saved his life. And what I want us to realize about dharma and duty is that it's not just this one thing. I just had goosebumps all over me. It's not just this one thing that we're here to do or to be in this great grand thing that we have. It is every day. It is every day. And that saved him. That one action that he felt compelled, not by logic, certainly. There was no money to be made. There was no grand recognition to be had about helping a homeless person with their dog who had fleas and bumps all over them. It all came from insight. It all came from that urge in him that said, this is what, this in front of me. And that's what dharma is, this duty. Dharma is every day. Every day is dharma. Every day. Every day. Every decision you make is dharma. How you decide to live your life, that's dharma. Every day, with whatever is right in front of you. With whatever is right in front of you. That is key. Because it doesn't matter what it looks like. It only matters how you feel about it and how you sense that it serves others. And believe me, I don't care what it looks like. The divine doesn't care what it looks like. You're an accountant. Are you serving others? Do you love it? Is it what you feel by insight? Do that. Do that. Is it a guitar and you want to be seen with it in your house the day you die? Do that. Whatever it is, do that. It's not a measure of what it looks like. It's a measure of how it feels and how it serves the whole. And make no mistake, it is serving the whole if you know it here. But like I said, those big things, fine. That trek toward dharma, fine. It's what is in front of you every day that counts as well. So, here we are right here at Spiritual Soul Center. Here's what's in front of you right now. And we are creating and have been creating a tapestry and a tribe and a team for 7 years. You walk in here, you feel the way you do. You come back, or maybe you don't come back. All right? Either way. All right? We're creating something here together. This just didn't happen because Paula decided to create Spiritual Soul Center. I mean, it happened because we made it happen. We're creating that together. And if you decided to become a member this year, here's the card you signed. Even if you decided to re-up your membership, here's what the volunteer or what the membership card says. It says, I, Paula Zabkar, will strive to live an inspired spiritual life through active participation in Spiritual Soul Center. I commit to the practice of universal spiritual principles, prayer, meditation, and service. I offer my unconditional love, kindness, acceptance, financial support, time, and skill to the best of my ability in support of the Soul Center mission. That's it. That's what you committed to. That's it. Right in front of you. You decided that, right? In other words, I'm here to grow, and I'm here to serve, and I'm here to transform. That's what we're about. That's what's in front of you at Spiritual Soul Center. And you either say, yes, you want to do that, or no, you don't want to do that. How do you feel about it? What is the insight that's saying, yes, I want to be part of this community, or maybe not, or I'm not sure. Whatever it is, listen to that. You know, there's a statistic that religious organizations like to throw around, and it's called the 80-20 rule. And it says that statistically, 20% of people in religious organizations do 80% of the work. Well, let me tell you something about Spiritual Soul Center. That doesn't apply here. At our volunteer dinner last year, our volunteer appreciation dinner, we had over 50 people show up. We have 100 members last year. So we're at 50% already. You know, that's not typical. There's something special going on here. There's something special going on at Spiritual Soul Center. We don't fall in that category. And that's what I want you to remember about statistics in general. They're just statistics, you know. If you... You know, when I had my knee surgery, they said, well, a certain percentage, you know, have this kind of experience. It's only like 8% that have this experience. Well, somebody has to be the 8. It was me, damn it. It was me. It was awful. That's another story. But statistics are just statistics. That's not true here. The 80-20 rule does not apply at Spiritual Soul Center. You've proven it wrong. You've proven it wrong. Last week, I asked for drivers to shore up a team that we have here, helping somebody come to get to church who doesn't have a car. I just asked for help. 4 people said yes. 4 people said yes. We now have our complete team and everything's hunky-dory. Yeah? Because somebody said yes. And people grabbed me. I didn't go around to people. You know, somebody in the coffee room said, Paula, you know. Yes. They were guided by insight, I'm hoping. They didn't come after me because I was after them. I simply asked the question. I've told you before, when we seated our new board this year, I asked some people about it. And I got 3 no's. Oh my God. I'm like, you know what? That's okay. This is also a place where you can say no if that does not align with your insight. Just listen. All these people listened to me. They considered, and then they gave their answer. Like, this has to be a place where you can say yes and you can say no. And you can still come here and not be embarrassed somehow or think somebody's judging you. It's like you rely on the insight to fulfill the dharma and the duty that's in front of you. That's it. That's it. I love that about Spiritual Soul Center. There's no requirement about participation. I'm encouraging you to say, is this mine to do? Or is it not? So I want to do something that's not usual right now, and I want to introduce you to all the team leaders at Spiritual Soul Center. You mind if I do that?
Fire away.
Even if you say no, what are you going to do? You know? Really? Somebody's thinking that right now. Well, what does she expect? I know. Because I want you to be aware of what's happening here, and I want you to have the opportunity to follow your insight to the level of the participation that you want. Okay? And sometimes it's hard to get the message out to everybody. So we're just going to do it here. It's not going to be very long. Don't worry about it. No one's going to be roped into anything. I'm encouraging you to listen, to consider, and decide. That's it. Here's what Stephen Cope says toward the end of this book with regards to the dharma that's right in front of us. He says, we are not called to everything. We are not called to everything. We are just called to what we're called to. You hear that? We are just called to what we're called to. Do your daily duty and let the rest go. Poke away systematically at your little calling. Tend the garden a little bit every day. You do not have to exhaust yourself with great acts. Show up for your duty, for your dharma, and then let it go. And know that it is enough. All right? Are you hearing that? So let's take a deep breath and let's sit with this for a little while. Take a deep breath as we allow ourselves to just sit. To rely on every day and every decision, to rely on our dharma, to rely on the insight from within. To know that there's no figuring out that is necessary. There's simply to do, to tend, to poke systematically and around in my life. What is in front of me? To say yes, to say no, to say maybe, to keep my eyes open, to stay awake, to feel what it feels like, and to trust that. So let's just spend a few moments in meditation. monk's dharma, his purpose in life, was said to be this: to support the choir. In Latin, propter coram. Literally, his life was lived in support of the choir. He was not a soloist. He was not a diva. He was part of the magnificent whole. And so it is for us.